Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Becca and I cook and eat completely plant-based or vegan. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel for weekly videos of me cooking and cleaning up my kitchen. Today I'm making chocolate dipped pretzels sprinkled with crushed candy canes, chocolate rum bites, and also baking some sugar cookies. The first thing I'm making is the sugar cookies. To make them, I'm adding 3/4 cups of vegan butter to a medium-sized bowl. Mix that together until the butter softens down a little bit. Then add in 3/4 cups of granulated sugar and mix that together, or you can beat them together just until they appear fluffy and light. Next, add in 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of almond milk, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Once that's all mixed together nicely, add in 1 cup of flour. I'm using gluten-free all-purpose baking flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and give it a little mix. And a sprinkle of salt. And lastly, add in 1 additional cup of that all-purpose flour. So in total, we use 2 cups of flour. And mix it or beat it together until it forms a nice cookie dough. I realized while I was making these that I actually had run out of parchment paper, so I had to improvise. With that, I recommend rolling your cookie dough on top of parchment paper and flour, then topping it with another sprinkle of flour and parchment paper and placing that in the fridge for at least an hour. Like I said, I improvised and used my hands to roll the dough because the roller wouldn't work on my plates, and I split the dough up into 2 sections on 2 separate plates and place them in the fridge for an hour. Once an hour has passed, grab your favorite cooking cutters. I use some holiday styled ones and create the shapes of your cookies. Then just place them on a greased or parchment paper lined cookie sheet and bake them in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. While the cookies are in the oven, I'm making my icing. I mixed together 1 cup of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and started with 1 tablespoon of almond milk, but I ended up using 2 tablespoons of the almond milk just to get it at the right texture. Since it's the holiday season, I chose to add some color to my icing. I went with red and green, and I did that just by adding some food dye to these separate little bowls and mixing it together. When your cookies are done in the oven, make sure to transfer them to a wire rack and allow them to cool completely before icing them. But once they are cooled, I alternate between the 2 different icing colors and then top them with some sprinkles. Onto the chocolate covered pretzels sprinkled with candy canes. These are so yummy and extremely easy to make. First, melt some dairy-free vegan chocolate chips in the microwave or in a saucepan. I just use a microwave and zap them for about 40 seconds. If your grocery store doesn't have crushed candy canes, no worries. Just buy some regular ones and make sure to take the plastic wrapping off prior to crushing and while the chocolate's heating up. As you can see, my chocolate is all melted. Now I'm just going to set that to the side while I crush these candy canes by wrapping them up in paper towels and then hitting them with a spoon. So I thought if I poured the chocolate in a tall glass, it would be easier to coat the pretzels, but it didn't really work, so I just ended up coating the pretzels with my spatula. One by one, dip your pretzels in the melted chocolate and then sprinkle with the crushed candy canes. Then just line them up on a plate and place them in the fridge to harden. I kept them in the fridge for about an hour before enjoying. Finally, time for the chocolate coconut rum bites. Again, this is super simple, but you do have to get your hands a little dirty, so make sure they're nice and clean. Add 1 7-ounce package of almond paste or vegan marzipan to a medium-sized bowl. This came out to be just a little bit over half of a cup. Massage it with your hands a little to loosen the paste up. Add in 3 teaspoons of cocoa powder and 1 to 2 teaspoons of rum. Now massage it all together using your hands until everything is evenly combined. Lastly, pour some unsweetened coconut shreds in a separate little plate. Create little balls out of the paste and roll them in the coconut. Easy as that, they're ready to be enjoyed. There we have it, our sugar cookies, chocolate coconut rum bites, and those chocolate dip pretzels. These are all super simple to make. Even if you aren't a good baker, you can easily make these. Happy holidays, thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe below.